Okay, up next is Corpus. So Corpus is a little trickier. Let's throw it on here. So I'm going to throw it on this track. Let me just mute it for a second, remind you what's on this track. That's this one. Okay, so what Corpus is it's a physical modeler. It's not unlike something like Collision that we saw with synthesizers, where we were physically modeling a synthesizer based on the real world parameters of it. But with this, we're modeling a real world resonator, essentially. It's like if you've ever gone up to a piano, like a grand piano, and held down the sustain pedal and then screamed into it, and then you hear the resonation of the strings, sympathetic resonation. It's kind of like that. So we can basically run our sound through a different resonator, and that's going to affect the frequencies that we get out of it quite a bit. So I have here a beam, right? I can adjust the material and the decay and the size of it, just like we saw with Collision. I can change this to a string. Kind of like that. I like those upper overtones we're getting. Okay, now the rest of this part here is really just shaping that resonator. We can add an LFO, we can add a filter, and we can add this parameter called bleed, which is going to mix in some of the unprocessed signal back to it. It's kind of like a dry wet amount, but I think the analogy here is if you were miking this resonator, you'd have some of the initial attack kind of pass around the resonator and get into the microphone. It's kind of what this is emulating. So it's kind of interesting. You can get a lot of really interesting sounds out of it.